Just put your hands together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vichacharana sampanno. Sugato lokavido anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattha deva manussana. Buddho bhagavati. Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Take also today, Mamoru, I'll be switching to a new topic. It's a very important topic. All of you pay attention, but it is going to be a bit in a way that degree level, a bit high level, more than Buddhist story, but you may get something to know, quite interesting thing. Because the Bhante said, you in your exam, Mamoru, there may be the topic of language and Buddhist view. Is quite interesting topic, because under this the Buddha mentioned about very good things for all of us to listen and observe and practice. You know, when we say the word language, right? All the religious teaching, religions survive with the help of languages today. That's very important. During the lifetime of the Buddha or Jesus or Guru Nanak or Allah or all the founders, they just listen to the founder, and then people did not bother much about language. But after they are passing away, they are dead. So the language become very, very important tool. The mode. You know, Buddhism is written in Pali. Hindu language is written in Sanskrit. Christianity is written in a way that, what's the oldest? Hebrew. Or even, what is it called this? Not in English. If you look at the oldest saints in Christianity, it's not in English. Then the teaching of Islam religion written in Arabic, right? But today, do you know, like in your country, you study Buddhism in Japanese. In China, people study Buddhism in Chinese. And then you go to Tibet, people learn Buddhism. The language is Tibetan, right? So that likewise, when evolved, the language became very important thing. So your topic is to study the origin of language or the early words of language. What is language? So you see here in your screen, if you can see, Charvak and Hindu view. According to them, language has two functions. You know, when it comes to early purpose, because you have to understand one thing. Please remember language. You have to see that language. You have to go to earliest Rig Veda, even Veda. It's a words. You know, when you look at the Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharvan Veda. When you come to Sama Veda, is Sanhitas, songs. Rig Veda talk about deities. Yajurveda talk about the offering to deities. Samaveda talk about the hymns, the stanzas, like what do we have in Buddhism? Hymns in praise of the Buddha. They also have. So all those are words. But just remember, it's very easy for you to remember because I do not want to tell too many things. You have to just get the notes I gave you about Hinduism, the early before pre-Buddhist thought. If you look at that pre-Buddhist thought, you could see that the expressions of. So to them, language is divine. Language is divine origin. Please remember, that's very important when it comes to early view, right? But later, I will give you some, what is it called, certain things. But then here, a general agreement. One is to express the substance or the self of man as universal phenomenon. Universal phenomenon. Got it, Mr. Mamoru? The first is to talk about, when you say the word self, also you can see later, it is actually Atman. So you please remember, it is to talk about Atman. So that's a universal phenomenon, right? The first, the purpose of language, right? The function of language is to talk about, is actually, you may say it's like religious, but when it comes to it, it's Atman, Brahman, and so on and so forth, right? Number two, that's also very important. See, you can see here, the other is to name individual. You see in the top right, if you look at the screen, Gunnarathan, see Rahul and Kalpana. So then you see Hiroko, then you see Mamoru, then you see Keiko, or below got what? Sayuri hiding, right? So what happened here? You see the individual, right? The next one is talking about individual. When you say individual, and then a lot of things, right? So can you look at these two first, right? Number one, language is to talk about, right? What is it called? The Atman, Brahman, self, universal thing. Number two is to differentiate in a way that individual or things in the world. See, this is a cup, you can see, right? Cup, C-U-P, right? So this is bottle, B-O-T-T-L-E. See, so when you see these two, to name, because you see the language, this is not the same like this. So one thing to name, second thing to differentiate, right? Isn't it? See, me, Gunaratana, is different from Rahul. Gunaratana and Rahul different from Mamoru. So this is what. Have you got the message? The language. Clear? And then, okay, these two, take note. The language according to early Charvak and Hindu, I mean, it's the function, the purpose is to, what is it called, express. But it comes later, evolution. That's what we have to see. And go into language and Buddhist attitude. What did the Buddha say? What does evidence, what kind of evidence do we have about language according to Buddhism? So this is Kena Upanishad, second one, right? In Kena Upanishad, so you see what's happening when a word as expressed by the organ of speech reveals its own idea. You see that? Can you see this line? Reveals its own idea. See? Right? Here you see what? A little amount of, what do we call, psychological own idea. Speech is said to go to its object. Speech is, now you see here, said to go to its object. So very interesting thing. Brahman is the self of that we can look at this very nice. Mamoru. Remember earlier, what did they say? What is language? It is, the function is to express the self. Reveals its own idea. Speech is said to go to its object. What is the object of this speech? Brahman is the self of that word. Brahman is the self of that words. Clear? Now you have to see very important thing. Another important, right? What is said in, what is it called, right? Atman and Brahman. You take this note, this is something new topic to me also, but quite interesting. Quite interesting. So when they talk about Atman and Brahman, right? So in their, what is it called? Unthinkable. When they talk about Brahman and Atman, unthinkable. So they had what is it called, there is one more idea. If you can remember this also, it is very good, because in the teaching of the Buddha also, it appears like this when it comes to the Buddha nature. The Buddha nature, you heard about it, right? The Buddha nature, the nature of the karma, and then also the nature of the Nibbana. All those are, what is it called? Not so easy to express by words. Expressed by words. But in their teaching, they mention that one thing, human language has its source. Its source in phenomenal experience. Human language has its phenomenal experience, but limited. These are early words. Can take it. Human language has its source in phenomenal experience, but limited. When they say limited, what is it called? It's is sometimes grounded in logic, etc. Right? Logic, etc. Sometimes when we talk, right, we do have, what is it called, the logic. You know, the word logic mean what? Like a law, or all those kind of things. So therefore, early, like Upanishad, they say that the human language has what is it called, limited expression. Limited expression. Clear? So you look at this. These are some early teaching. Okay. Then there is another very important aspect coming in. If you can take note, Rigveda, in Rigveda, 10th chapter. The 10th chapter, 125 verse. It has this could be, if you can keep it, watch. If you can remember this word, right? Watch is word. In early, right? Early literature, Rigveda, the word watch. The word, according to them, what did they say? The hymn. The hymn glorifies, right? Hymn glorifies the power of the word. What is word? The hymn, you know. Rigveda is the one. What do we come across in Rigveda? Rigveda has, how to say, the hymns in praise of the God. But they said the hymns glorifies the, what is it called? Power of the words. If you can remember these words, that's what they mentioned. This is the hymn. I move with Rudra, with Vasus, Adityas, and the all gods. I move with, sorry, this one. Can take it. Rudra, with Vasus, Adityas, and all gods, right? And likewise, he mentioned about it, and so much have I become by my greatness. Just keep this, if really you can remember this in English, it will be a great piece of support for you to, because earlier we say just general views, but this is also a good thing. Kena Upanishad, the word, because here you could see according to Kena Upanishad, the word has some, it has biological link that's expressed by the organ of speech, reveals it, right? And then also they said that the purpose or the function of language, and then Here you see something very important. What is it called? Stands out the you remember this word watch, Mamoru? Because in Buddhism, in Pali, it's vachi, kaya, vag, manas, kaya, vachi, kayena samaro sadhu vacha, kayena vacha, the body and speech. It's a very good evidence that in before Buddha, so the attitude towards language, they accepted language, but in their own framework. What is the framework? The purpose of word is to express phenomena. What is this phenomena? Atman and Brahman. Atman and Brahman. So this is what here you see. A hymn is a translation. In Rigveda translation, the hymn glorifies the power of the word. I move with Rudra, with Vasus, Adityas, and other old gods. So much I become my greatness. And here, as I told you, you also can mention actually what happened, just for your general understanding. What happened? Vedic Sanskrit. This is the oldest. Then come into Pali. Then come into Prakrit. Especially during Emperor Asoka's period. During Emperor Asoka's period, Prakrit. Just for your knowledge sake, remember what is it called? Nalanda University. Rahul, in Nalanda University.
Yes.
What's the language they use?
Maybe Pali and Sanskrit.
No, Pali was not. Pali could have been there, but that's a period actually. What do we call? It's a different kind of, but of course, slightly modified Sanskrit.
Prakrit.
Prakrit is the language used by Emperor Ashoka.
Devanagari.
No. Devanagari is coming with Vedic Sanskrit, or even in Sanskrit. That's why it is known as Devanagari. Why Devanagari? The language of the God, divine language. So this is how it evolved. But eventually what happened, it modified a little bit. Do you know, Mamoru, when my master's and PhD is on Buddhist Sanskrit literature. Buddhist Sanskrit literature. I did my master's because that's why I mentioned just for your general knowledge sake. Nalanda University, in Nalanda University, the Buddhism was taught in Sanskrit. That's why all the texts, Buddhist texts, taken to China, written in Sanskrit. That's why the Venerable Hyun San, when he entered India, he spent much of time studying Sanskrit language. Sanskrit language. So it was there. Right? So just for your general knowledge sake, but of course after that, because it's called hybrid Sanskrit, I mean just simplified version, right? So this is simple note, but still, what do? All of you try to go. You can go into internet and then check language, early attitude towards early language, right? Clear? Are you okay now? If you can go through this, what is it called? I may share with you when I get some questions about it, but keep this note. Now we'll go into what is it called? How to say the language in early Buddhism. Language in early Buddhism.
Some scholars said the Buddha preached in the Magdi language.
Yeah, Magadi is referring to Pali.
Okay.
Because Samagadi Mula Bhasha. There's a very good article written in Sri Lanka that the Magadi, because that's a popular pocket, right? The popular pocket, right? So when it comes to Buddhism, right? Mamoru, the early Buddhism, the attitude towards language, but attitude in a sense that again, same thing happened. The Buddha has a very different view about language, but hopefully it may take actually. Okay, Mamoru, Mamoru, Monday, Hiroko, Keiko, are you okay Monday? For the next few days, I just want to have extra class. Can you join Monday, same time? Or a bit later?
Next week?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I? Okay, good,
yes.
good.
Yes.
So we continue this lesson today. I don't think I can finish it, but a very, very interesting lesson. Language in Buddhism has what is it called two goals. One is emancipation. Emancipation. Anything we do in Buddhism, right? Then ultimately, no matter whatever we read or listen, chant or discuss, write, right? Anything. Like you see, like you take Buddhism, just now we say Namo Tassa Bhagavata. You write it, you discuss it, you record it. Right? According to early Buddhism, we have Why do we need language? Generally, language is to communicate, right? You learn Japanese, right? You learn Japanese to communicate. Like today, I communicate with you with English. This is a purpose. We learn languages, communicate, higher studies. But when it comes to Buddhism, right, is a goal of language. One is emancipation. The second one, social consideration. Emancipation and social consideration. When you talk about social consideration, actually it comes with ethics. Now you see the difference a little bit. According to early view, pre-Buddhist view, language is divine origin. It has two functions, remember, right? But here, when it comes to Buddhism, right, we have the linguistic knowledge. That's when we say that emancipation, right? How to say the linguistic knowledge. Linguistic knowledge, right? Function, right? Linguistic knowledge. It's called language knowledge, right? In the path of emancipation. Linguistic knowledge in the path of emancipation. Something you can check like today, right? What do you do now, right? You are learning Buddhism from me, right? Of course, you want to sit for examination, but that's a good goal. But again, ultimately, this knowledge is going to be very useful for you to understand what is Dharma, what is ethics, what is ultimate goal, Nirvana, and so on. It's through linguistic knowledge. It is through linguistic knowledge. So, what happened? So the Buddhism says what? You can take note or just keep it. Language is, or language as a psychological, language as a psychological phenomena. So when you say psychological phenomena, thought. If I give you Abhidhamma word here, you can include it. What is it? What is the Abhidhamma word? Vachi Vinyati. Vachi Vinyati. You look at this word, very interesting word. You come across this word Mamoru, when we had the Rigveda Vacha, they also believed that it's linked to the thought. But the Buddha said, what is the word? Word originated with the help of Vijnana, Vachi Vinyati. I'm talking to you. It's a physical word. The mouth, the organ, lips, teeth, tongue, throat, palate, right? The constituents of the mouth. The language is uttered with the help of constituents of mouth. But the Buddhism says it is psychological. It isn't psychological. It is originated from mind. Okay, now you are listening now. Here, the denial of divine origin. Because according to those who believed in the divine power, the God, they said what? Language is originated from the God. It's a divine origin. The Buddha said, no, it is mind origin. The best example is Mano Vachi Vinyati. Vachi Vinyati is called what? Verbal intimation. Another day I explained to you. Now, when was the origin of words? That's very important. So we have to look at what? Have you heard about Aganya Sutta? All of you?
Yes, I heard Aganya Sutra.
Okay, what is Aganya Sutta?
There is Buddha explained how the earth come into existence, and means after existence of the earth, how human beings come to from the Abhasar look to the human in this world.
Okay. Generally, what do you see? Mamoru is very, very important discourse for you all. You have a social, what is something, right? The social aspects, right? Aganya Sutta talk about two things. What is it? Dissolution, right? Dissolution and what? What's the next one? Evolution. Can you remember? You must read Aganya Sutta. I didn't touch it actually in Pali. This is called in what? In Pali. Sangvatta Vivatta. Remember. Sangvatta Vivatta. Or sometimes some people say evolution and involution. Evolution and involution. But some scholars say dissolution and evolution. Dissolution and evolution. So what do we see? Okay, it's good for me. Let me share a little bit about this discourse. It's the origin of human society. Mamoru, sometimes the people believe in God, something like Christians. They can come to your house. So they come to your house and talk to you. What do they talk? Buddhists have no answer to the question of origin of the world. The reason they say we do not discuss too many things about origin of the world. The Buddha has only 1 or 2 discourses. Occasionally Buddha talk about origin of the world, development of the world, end of the world. The reason, 2 reasons. Number 1, the Buddha said, don't waste your time. The Buddha said to the Malvankya, okay, I can tell you the beginning of the world. Are you going to enlighten by listening to that? No. I can tell you the end of the world. Will you come to the end of your suffering? No. Then why are you wasting time? You have important things to pay attention. You pay attention to Corona, COVID, very bad. You pay attention to examination, your studies, your family, and so on, rather than wasting time on origin. Yet, Aganya Sutta, in Aganya Sutta, the Buddha briefed what happened. Remember, Bhassara world. Have you heard about it? All of you? Mamoru, very important. This discourse, very, very important. Do you have a paper, sociological paper, to learn about Aganya? Any?
Last time.
Last time.
I think in the diploma syllabus there was this sutra, Aganya Sutra.
But not in degree?
Not in degree.
Okay. About society, the world. Abhasara world. All the human beings were in, what is it called? The divine world, Abhasara world, illuminating body, radiant. Abhasara means radiant. And then what happened? At the end of the dissolution of the world, so they come back to this earth. Come back to this earth. Right? They were very nice look, shared everything commonly. Right? Shared everything commonly. Shared everything commonly, and then what happened? The end result was what? Greed. Over. So this is what, if you can remember, from Abhasara world to earth. Then greed over. It's a long story. Material property. Then Adinadana. Stealing. Adinadana, stealing. Next one, what? Musavada. Line. Look at here. Have you seen? what is it called? The beginning of theft. Beginning of theft, stealing. That's what the Buddha mentioned that, right? Here you see stealing, theft, musawad, line. Please remember, earlier one, the Rigveda, Charvaka, Hindu view, and then when we talk about attitude towards language, so the Buddha denied that it is divine origin. Buddha also denied that it is, what is it called, to realize Atman and Brahman. And Buddha said that language is, it is essentially a psychological, physical involvement, no doubt about it, but it is thought. What's happening? What is happening in language? The expression of thought. The expression of thought. And then when it comes to Aganya Sutta, the origin of first word, musawad, because they were greedy and they have stolen things. That's why the theft, right? Stealing. And in order to hide, to conceal, to cover, right? They tell lie. So this is, as I said, what Musa, the greed oriented. Someone who was, what is it called, right? And then these words, right? Have you got it now? This is a very, very good piece of, what is it called? And here, when people notice that, we can remember this. People's choice. People's choice. Maha Sammata. People's choice. So the Buddha said what? Right? These are general agreement. Look at it. Languages, the words, they are general agreement, general ways of speech. That's why at the beginning, I mentioned to you, I'm Gunaratan. So this is a name given by my teachers. When the monks assembled on my date of ordination, they named me as Gunaratan. Then Rahul, Keiko, Hiroko, Mamor. It's an agreement. They are an agreement. Clear? According to the teaching of the Buddha, what do we see here? Common agreement. People's choice. I got my name, my teacher's choice. So everyone agreed. Everyone agreed that, what is it called? This is Gunaratana. ඒ තියනවද නේද? හත් කරගත්තා. ඇතුලින් තිබ්බද? ෆ්‍රිජ් එකේ. මම චපාතියක් කනවා. Got it? So the Buddha said what? All right? The Buddha doesn't want to involve. It's people's choice. What? People designated it. Oh, this is, you know, when it's quite interesting according to Aganya Sutta, when how to say the person stolen things. When asked, have you stolen? He said, no, I didn't steal. So told lie, right? He told. So someone sees Rahul is stealing, right? And Rahul said, no, I didn't do it. But then people designated that, oh, this is lie. This is Mrusha. Right? It's called what? Mrusha. Vada and watch, same. So in Pali, we call what? So the word Mrushavada. You can later, I'll be giving you what is it called in Digha Nikaya. Definition. In Digha Nikaya Brahmajala Sutta. You must remember Digha Nikaya Brahmajala Sutta is very important. It's about, that's the first discourse in Digha Nikaya to talk about 62, what is it called, Michaditti. And also the, what is it called, you may see the morality, moral conduct in Buddhism. Yeah, so the discussion has been done, right? If you can remember these 4 words, right? Please take note, right? Samanya, Nirutti. It is ways of speech. Then Ohara, use, and Panyati, convention. So these are 4 terms. Four terms used by the Buddha. If you can remember, 4 terms used by the Buddha. What the agreement, ways of speech. Let's come into pronunciation, the use and convention. Right? Clear? I'll give you a very important discourse. If you can read it, Mamoru, very good. Majjhima Nikaya, Arana Vibhanga. If you can read Majjhima Nikaya, middle and saying, Arana Vibhanga Sutta. About words, quite interesting thing. So the Buddha said, Raho Vadam na bhaseya. Raho Vadam na bhaseya. One should not utter a secret speech. Quite interesting. The Buddha's attitude. This is Buddhist attitude. One should not utter, right? Very interesting. Eh? Atara manova bhaseya. Atara manova bhaseya no tara mano. Atara manova bhaseya. One should speak quite slowly, not hurriedly. Okay, quite interesting. You look at it. This is, remember earlier when I started, what is it called, sharing the Buddhist attitude. Two things, two goals: emancipation and ethical consideration, social. So that's what here. We are coming to some more, little more. It's important, very interesting. This is very, very interesting in a way that something I, in my studies, very happy, inspiring thing, very inspiring. Rahuvadan Basi, no secret. Right? You can see here, very interesting thing, how open the teaching of the Buddha. There is no secret in Buddhism. Rahuvadan Basi, Atramanova Basi, talk slowly, not in a hurry. So Buddhism is not a religion to chant, right? Cannot go like this. I cannot. Ataramano bhaseya na taramano, right? Must talk softly, slowly, quite slowly. Right? The very important thing, this one. That, if you can remember, one should not cling to like on dialect. It's very important. Janapada Nirutti. One should not cling to one's own dialect. Deviate. recognize balance. If you can take this, keep this note, one should not deviate from recognized balance, right? When we say balance, it's actually popularly, what is the agreement? See the Aganya Sutta. If you can keep Aganya Sutta and Arana Vibhanga Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya. Mamoru, try to spend little more time. I may, just for your knowledge, next Friday, I have something on. I want to take class on Monday and Thursday, most likely. Okay. Thursday, Mamoru, 8 o'clock can, right? Japan, 9 o'clock.
Thursday we have a Devananda Thero's class.
Oh, what time?
9.
9 to
9.
9.
9, yes.
9, night time 9.
9.
Yes.
Then 8 o'clock?
Okay, look.
Can take? Anyway, we are meeting Monday, right?
Yes.
Monday.
Can, okay, if you all can meet Monday, that's great. So today we stop here, but take note, this is even enough for you. Just the attitude, early language, but I'll try to give you some other information a little bit. Just a very simple one. But please remember that Rigveda and the Charvaka Hindu idea, and then what is it called, function of language, and how it became divine to talk about Atman and Brahman. And also, but they also say that there's a limit, but it's divine origin, it's heavenly born. But the Buddha mentioned that it is not according to Aganya Sutta, it's human beings. They themselves came to certain agreements. So he's telling life. This man is telling life. When he says Mushavada, the word has been given because he has done something and he denied it. He has stolen, right? Adinadana. Then what is it called? Denied it. Clear? Because this is about language. So just put your hands together. Varo varanyu varadu varaharo anuttaro dhamma varang adesai idampi buddhi ratanang panihitang etena saccena suvatti hotu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Japan,
Thank you very much.
Singapore, Sri Lanka, India, all our surrounding countries, Asian, European, may all the countries be, everyone be well and happy. So today I have one last wish, right? Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bante.
See you, eh? Right. Okay, go. So this one, Rahul,
Yes.
first I have to save, right?
Okay.
Go to file, right?
Yes. You can, there is a topmost save option. You can direct go in the save.
Yeah, I see.
above the file. Save
Above.
icon, save icon.
Yeah. It says like
Yes, click.
okay.
I think it saved.
Saved already?
Yes.
Then can you forward through email to all of them? All right, please do so. Okay. Later you can do it, but get the emails of everyone and one more, and this will be
Okay,
good.
I can't share it because this is in your PC. That's why.
Okay. So you sure I saved, right?
Yes, you saved and you can share
How
from
to
your side
Ah,
because you are the owner of this document. I don't have the document. I can see only. That's why.
Okay.
Or you can send me through WhatsApp. I can send through mail if it is possible.
Oh, no, I will email you. I'll ask Ranjini to email you.
Okay.
Thank you.